Hi guys! Welcome to our channel. When you watch Kungfu movies, do you ever wish that you could become a master of martial arts or become a disciple of Shaolin Temple? Watching the famous skills of the Shaolin Temple is quite eye-catching. But to master those skills, the Shaolin monks have to go on a difficult path, both physically and mentally. Along the way, they face many challenges and go through a grueling training based on ancient traditions that haven't changed in over hundreds of years. Monks practice 7 days a week to perfect their skills. Together, let's take a tour of the Shaolin Temple to better understand why Shaolin masters are so hard to beat. It's time to start today's video. Shaolin disciples start to practice hard from a young age. When they are about 6 or 7 years old, they demonstrate their amazing abilities, and the young disciples learn to endure pain and fatigue to gradually become true warriors. In addition to compulsory meditations, Shaolin monks practice techniques that focus on strength, balance, endurance, and self-defense. I don't think that the average person can bend at an angle like this. You can't get through this exercise without any damage to your body. The disciples curl their bodies like a ring around a pillar and even a tree trunk. They stay in this position for a while without falling, but this torture-like exercise is actually only part of practicing Kung Fu, according to the masters. Exercises like this teach monks to endure all difficulties and learn the intricacies of martial arts. I hope you won't try to perform the Shaolin's exercises, as it's really dangerous for you. Each disciple is trained for many years to minimize the risk to their body. For example, in this exercise, they hit their throat with a big, thick stick, and the throat is one of the weakest parts of the human body. It took the monk 10 years to learn to ignore the pain and to strengthen his neck, arms, and legs. It seems that the Shaolin monks don't consider this a complicated technique. During practice sessions, they demonstrate how they can withstand a strong blow to the throat with a stick. One of the monks was even able to break a stick with his throat. To make every part of their body stronger, monks perform special exercises. This isn't just about meditation training, but it also plays an important role. It helps monks rest from physical exercises for a while and teaches them to focus on clearing their mind and listening to their bodies. Meditation can also help calm them even during the most frightening exercises, and they can really scare anyone. The noose around this man's neck isn't a good sign. But to the Shaolin monk, his throat and neck are so strong that he can use the so-called turtle breath. This is one of the skills that only a real Kung Fu master can learn. It allows the monk to not breathe for up to 20 minutes while suspended in the air at altitudes higher than 1 meter. To do something like this, you have to gather all your strength and focus as much as you can. Only a few of the Shaolin monks can do this, and please, don't try to do it at home. The legendary Shaolin monks master their skills to perfection over many years. They strengthen not only their fists and necks, but even their fingers. A special training technique is called the diamond fingers, or according to other sources, it may be called the iron fingers or the Buddha's fingers. But regardless of the name, the nature of the exercise hasn't changed. In the center of the courtyard of the Shaolin Monastery, there is a tree that's used for this exercise. There are actually several trees like this, but that's beside the point. The first step is relatively easy for the disciples, placing your hands between two hard surfaces with constant pressure. It may not seem too difficult, but imagine how much patience and stamina you need for this exercise. The pressure gradually increases, and after a few years, the monks are allowed to practice finger attacks. After this training, the great warriors will have no problems punching through steel plates or lifting their entire body weight with their index fingers. Their fingers become as strong as iron. It looks like tooth decay with the holes in the trunk. It's said that after all these exercises, the monks can use their fingers to break rocks or seriously injure a person. Nowadays, there are a lot of people who find it difficult or feel tired when they climb stairs. But in a world where there are so many elevators and escalators, they don't have to worry about it anymore. Shaolin monks use the steps of the monastery for practice, and they don't just run up and down the stairs. That's too easy for them. The monks climb down on 4 feet. I mean, their 2 arms and 2 legs. And they do it amazingly fast. They don't let their knees touch the ground, just their feet and palms. But somehow, they manage to keep their balance. And I have to say this again. Don't try this exercise at home, especially when you are alone and the stairs are steep. Just leave the heat for these cool guys. Most people will feel a bit afraid of breaking glass with their hands and feet. It's less scary to break glass with a ball or a stone. But all of this isn't the case here. Shaolin monks can do what the average person considers impossible: break glass with needles. To understand how such a small object can break glass, we need to understand that the chemical bonds of glass are very hard and don't crack from a simple touch. So, it's difficult to break. At the temple, the bonding level glass is an extremely strong substance. It cracks less, and the cracks are much smaller than steel. But due to its structure, just one small crack is enough to make this glass incredibly fragile. This skill is used by Shaolin monks. Another trick is not to bend the needle under pressure while throwing it. This really isn't easy, but as you've realized, monks don't do things the easy way. They throw the needle under tremendous power and speed while trying not to bend it. As soon as a hard needle hits the glass and creates a deep crack, the force is distributed throughout the glass, and it breaks. The needle flies past the ball behind the glass, and it pops out. Shaolin is all about the art of martial arts, and the art of martial arts is all about being able to deliver crazy blows with your fists and palms. This technique is known as the iron palms. It's originally one of the 72 arts of the Shaolin Temple. This training method was created to allow the monks to deliver very powerful blows without the risk of injury. The iron palm technique involves strengthening the limbs by training the tendons and ligaments from the shoulder to the tip of the finger. Monks hit hard objects that were sewn into cloth or leather bags, or simply scattered around. Most of them usually use medium-sized stones. This is a really dangerous exercise, especially in the long term, as the practice of hitting rocks can cause arthritis, or your sensitivity can decrease due to nerve damage. That's why many masters try not to practice iron palms for a long time. Many Shaolin exercises look breathtaking and frightening. One of them is called the iron armor. The internet has a lot of videos showing monks lying on sharp spears, or they just use the ancient spears like it doesn't bother them at all. Some think that it's impractical to practice the whole exercise in some training courses. The monks even work on iron armor by sleeping on hard beds covered with soft cloth, and after, they hang a crossbar and dig a hole underneath. They hold both hands on the crossbar and drop themselves into the sand pit so that their bodies, chest, stomach, shoulders, and back fall into the sand. Then, they started hitting the disciple with sticks and even with a hammer. What's truth and what's fiction? Perhaps only the monks know. And there are those who doubt whether these special skills are real or not. Maybe all of this is just a staging trick that can be done by anyone with enough time to prepare. The secret may lie in the instruments, the monk's best friend. You may see that these spears aren't as sharp and dangerous as usual and are made for show. On the other hand, many believe that years of dedication and training allow Shaolin monks to exercise sublime skills. Lying on top of the spear might be just one of them. This skill is also known as the horse stance and includes leg training as well as total body control. The monks perform a stance called Nizong Quan and Cha Quan, also known as the horse stance posture, when standing on 2 pillars in the ground. It sounds quite complicated, but this is not all. In some cases, the monks also hold buckets filled with water. Another version is to put 3 bowls on their head and 2 on the shoulders, and sometimes an oil lamp is used instead of a bowl. This exercise is done for almost 2 hours, and the whole body has to stand still, or the objects can fall. After many years, when training is complete and all the skills have been learned and mastered, as in any educational institution, you'll need to pass a final exam to achieve the title of a real Shaolin master. If the disciple fails, he can try again in 3 years. Each person chooses their own style. For example, standing like a monkey. Standing like Monkey King Ton Wukong. Mastering such a technique requires an incredible concentration of strength and a sense of balance that not everyone has. But the exam isn't just about Kung Fu, because it's related to Buddhism, a compulsory religion for all monks, and it's also included in the exam. And often, there are some theoretical questions that are much more complex than the exercises. It takes real effort to pass both tests, and only then can you be called a monk warrior and a true master of Shaolin. Of course, everything we've mentioned aren't all the exercises that Shaolin disciples learn. I have just learned some typical Shaolin exercises, as my knowledge is just like grains of sand in the desert, so some words may be used wrong and incorrect. If you have comments and suggestions, let me know in the comments section below. All of your comments are extremely valuable to me. If you find this video interesting, please give me a like and share it with everyone. Don't forget to press the red subscribe button and the bell icon on the side so you're up to date with the coolest and most interesting videos from our channel. See you in the next video.